Hello there and good morning. Joe Biden's been naughty again. He's developed his own policy on Taiwan. As per usual, please like, subscribe and comment below. And when subscribing, please do press that little bell, but also select the all option, or you won't get any notifications when I publish a new video. So, White House officials are now openly contradicting their own US president. Yes, US politics at the very highest level has descended into a sort of 1984 style of doublespeak and doublethink. Yesterday, President Biden was asked if the US would go to the aid of Taiwan should it come under attack from Communist China. To which the President replied, clearly and unambiguously, in words that would be warmly welcomed by Taipei City, yes, we have a commitment to that. Clear as a bell, yes? The US would be there to help the Taiwanese defend their nation from a hostile Chinese onslaught, right? After all, the President is in charge, isn't he? Well, no on all counts there, because White House officials were forced to come straight out and claim the President's words were not an announcement of US policy on Taiwan. The words might be as clear as a bell, but the White House staff uses a different dictionary these days, a Biden dictionary, where everything Biden says can be reinterpreted as being within any already decided US policy. And the problem they have here is that US policy for Taiwan is dictated by the 1979 Taiwan Relations Act and clouded by the territorial claims made by China over a Taiwan that thinks of itself as independent. And that act says that the US must provide weapons to Taiwan to allow it to defend itself. But it does not say anything about sending US forces to help it. Therefore, US policy has so far been to be openly ambiguous about what the US would do in the event of an attack on Taiwan by China. And up until Sleepy Joe Biden uttered those words, the whole US defense posture was geared around that ambiguity. And one supposes that means everything from readiness posture to nuclear weapons targeting to troop movements and asset deployments such as capital ships, warplanes and satellite coverage, and it would also include foreign policy. So a change from that ambiguity to the clarity of certain defence would in all probability mean a massive US realignment, including massive contracts for their defence industry, and a lot of political and legal debate into the bargain. No wonder the White House was so swift to declare that the President's clear words actually meant that ambiguity persists. The White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki was forced to tell the media, "There has been no shift. The President was not announcing any change in our policy, nor has he made a decision to change our policy. There is no change in our policy." So that's cleared up a couple of big questions then. 1. The US President Joe Biden has no clue what US policy is on one of the world's hottest topics. And 2. The US President is not in charge of US policy. And 3. The President is not the master of his brief. In fact, it's clear he's not the master of his own brain. No ambiguity there anymore. Biden's staff must dread having to re-inform their president on a daily basis about the basics. Yes, Joe, you are the President of the USA. And yes, you are allowed to have pasta and ice cream for breakfast. But you do have to read this policy on Taiwan first. Where is it? Look at the briefing paper. There's a pretty little map of the world in it, and Taiwan is the big red blob. No, it's not really red. And then watch in terror as they have to leave him go free, like a nappy-less 2-year-old toddler with a machine gun. Except in this case, the most dangerous thing you can do with Sleepy Joe is give him a hot mic and put him minderless in front of the press, because nappy-less 2-year-olds do tend to leave a bit of a mess behind them. And you can imagine him opening the nuclear code briefcase, fumbling about inside, and then looking up with a beaming smile saying, "Anyone for Scrabble?" as terrified officials descend on him. Anyway, the press continued to hound Jen Psaki as they tried to ascertain if anything had changed. Was this an intentional statement by the president, they asked. To which she replied, "What I can convey to you is our policy has not changed. He's not intending to convey a change in policy, nor has he made a decision to change our policy." Sounded to me like he had. Maybe they've been quietly discussing it and he's let it slip much earlier than intended, i.e., did he forget it was a secret, in fact, top secret? Maybe he got confused with a game of Risk or Battleships he once played. And do you remember when the press quizzed Joe Biden about the UK and his answer was, "I'm Irish"? What's he going to say the next time he's asked about China? Wink and tell the BBC, "I'm Taiwanese"? And talking about that, how is this UK-US so-called special relationship getting along? But before I get into that, I just want to say a massive thank you to all my Super Thanks, Patreon and PayPal supporters, as well as those that do buy a mug with my mug on it. Links in the descriptions box below. You really do help me keep this channel going. Now, Biden forgot the name of the Australian Prime Minister, you know, that guy from Down Under, when the AUKUS deal was announced. And now he seems to have forgotten that the other party to the deal, the UK, exists, because he has still not chosen a permanent US ambassador to the UK to replace the current chargé d'affaires ad interim Philip T. Rieker. And this is being seen as a bit of a snub of the UK by the US President, given that he's due to attend the COP26 climate meeting in Glasgow in a couple of weeks' time. Joe, though, doesn't seem bothered. He probably thinks of the UK as some little island off the coast of Ireland, thinking, isn't that where they eat some weird thing called Brexit? But one assumes the US administration is on the hunt for the most full-blooded Irish nationalist anti-Brexit type that they can find from among their ambassadorial ranks to needle us daily with. Either that or he keeps floating names to number 10 and they keep getting rejected by Boris. And maybe we can do without a hardcore anti-UK US presence at the moment. As one unnamed MP told The Express, "Thank heavens, I think they would probably just be constantly criticising everything we do. Biden takes a certain perspective on Northern Ireland, he takes a certain Republican and EU perspective on the whole thing, and we get enough of that from the EU, we don't need it from Biden as well." So what's your opinion? Is Biden in charge of anything? And if so, what precisely? Please like and comment below.